Hello. It seems like a lifetime ago we were here at Home Park, but after 3 long weeks, the Greens are back at home.
Two players standing over it. Is the in-swinging delivery. It's found its way through. Well, they've hardly had a kick in the early stages, but 7.5 minutes in, Plymouth Argyle lead at Chelsea. Lukaku. It's Mason Mount, and it's a fine stop from Cooper, his best of the afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Erin Black and welcome to Home Park. This afternoon, Argyle are taking on Shrewsbury Town in their first home game in 3 weeks. And if we take a look at some of the stats, in that time since they've been here at Home Park, they have picked up 7 points. We've scored 11 goals and, of course, taken the champions of Europe to extra time. What a day that was. It's back to league action now, and with just 17 games to go, the push for the playoffs are on. Over the next 45 minutes, while we build up to the 3 p.m. kickoff, we will be hearing from manager Steven Schumacher on what he wants to do to make the home advantage count, and we build on the impressive results of late. We're going to dive into the inner workings of our academy for EFL Youth Development Week and speak to the academy manager, Phil Stokes, live on the programme. And of course, Danny Mayer is going to be lifting the lid on that rather unusual celebration on Tuesday night. And if you haven't seen it yet, we have it for you. And believe me, it is very much worth the wait. Now, to help us through the next 40 minutes, I am joined by former Argyle striker Ian Stonebridge. Hello, Ian. Nice to see you again. 3 weeks since we were last hanging out on Argyle TV.
Yeah, we had a big gap last time, didn't we? But no, they've done well in the time in between, and it's great to be back here again.
Yeah, I mean, last time it was against Lincoln, and we said then that it seemed a really long time since we'd been at Home Park, and same again. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it's great, and obviously the kind of run of performances that the team have been on, maybe not all the results going as they'd wish, but certainly a really good spell of points in the league, and obviously that amazing game at Chelsea last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. You said you watched it on TV. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it was just, you sat there feeling really proud that this is a team representing our city and the following that they took up there. That to see the fans, out singing the Chelsea supporters in the way that they did, and then more than matched by the performance on the pitch, which was just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and that was just one of the away games we've had. 9 of Steven Schumacher's 11 games have actually been away. How hard is that for an incoming manager?
It's really tough. That run of games, not only the actual games themselves, it's tough to play away from home regardless of where you're going, but the travelling that we often talk about that Argyle have to do. I know that they've spoken about the amount of time they have to spend on that coach, and that's not ideal preparation for any game. So that, you know, that makes the performances and the points they've gained from those games even more impressive.
Yeah, I suppose Argyle is slightly unique in that sense because we are just so far removed from pretty much all the other teams in the league.
Yeah, it's, you know, the local derbies being, you know, sometimes Welsh teams, sometimes you know, Bristol if you're lucky, you know, so it's extraordinary really. But yeah, a great run of results, and I'm sure Steve Schumacher's really proud of the way that's turned out.
Yeah, and having said that, 7 points from 3 games, there's been loads of goals and the display at Chelsea, so really they haven't done too badly in recent weeks.
No, not at all, and like we said, they'll be itching to get back on that pitch and show this home park crowd what they can do.
Yeah, I bet. Looking forward to the game today as well. I think it'll probably be nice to have the fans back in the stadium cheering on, especially after what we saw in their last game.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, coming off the back of the Chelsea performance and the result on Tuesday night, you know, the team will be confident, they'll be in good spirits, and I'm sure they'll be really keen to put on a great show today.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, remember, for those of you who are watching at home, you can get in touch with us today, and we would love to hear your thoughts ahead of the game. You can drop me a message on Twitter. You need to tag @only1argyle. That is our Twitter handle on social media. Predictions, feelings ahead of the game, where you're watching from, any of that. I love to hear from you, and we will try and read them out just before kickoff or at half-time. And as we were just saying, Steven Schumacher has only had 2 games here at Home Park in the 3 months he's been in charge of the Greens, so surely he's looking forward to getting back on the touchline today.
Can't wait. The 2 home games that we've had so far since I've been in charge have been great. I've enjoyed it. You say 9 out of the 11 have been all away from home, so sick of the sight of that coach. But look, it is what it is. I think a few clubs have had these types of runs, so it's just the way the season's panned out. But yeah, we can't wait till Saturday, and hopefully Home Park's bouncing and it's full, and you can get behind the lads for pushes on for another good performance. It's difficult because it takes its toll on the body for travelling. So you know, the players have bearing all of that stress. They've done incredibly well to get through it the way they have with the lack of injuries that we've had. We've had a couple of niggles here and there. A few people have got stiff backs, as you can probably imagine. But as I say, it's not normally like that. But I think credit to the medical team, they've kept everybody pretty much on the pitch for us. Training's been okay. So yeah, it's tough from a physical point of view, and also from that mental side. You know, it's tough away from home to try and win games of football. It's tough to win them at home, but when you're at home, you've got your crowd behind you. You've got, you know, the opposition have had to do that travel, which puts a toll on them. And we just haven't had that for the last few months. But you know, we're going to have that, aren't we, in March? And we just, until then, just need to keep trying to plug away and get as many points as we can.
You mentioned give the fans something to cheer about, and I think we've done that over the last few games, haven't we? If you just look at the performances, despite them all being away in the league, picked up 7 points from the last 3 games. Fantastic display at Chelsea. The fans have come out in numbers, as they always do. How pleased are you with the form and everything that we have coming into this game? Yeah,
look, obviously really pleased. And if you just look at the league games, we've took 7 points away from home from the last 3 league games, which is great. And then the Chelsea experience was just fantastic for everybody. What a day for the football club that was. But I know away fans love going to watch their team away from home. They're more, sometimes people prefer away games because they are more exciting and it's a bit of a road trip and have a few beers with your mates or whatever on the journeys. So it's been great for the support that we've had. We really appreciate it, and I feel as though the lads have, you know, put in real good performances for them fans. But it's important now on Saturday when we get here to Home Park that we continue with that same effort. We can try and keep our form going like you just spoke about, and we put in another good performance for everybody, the Green Army at Home Park.
Just touch on Shrewsbury. What are you expecting from them? How do you see them at the moment?
They're a really well organised team. They're hard to beat. I think they've had 4 draws in the last 4 games maybe. But yeah, they don't concede a lot of goals. They're big and physical, so it'll be another tough game. We'll have to be at our best as always. Try and play at a tempo as much as we can and get the fans behind us. And yeah, if we can go and get off to a great start, then it'll hopefully be a good day.
Stephen Schumacher there. Ian, he's clearly looking forward to being back here, and the fans are too. 15,000 expected today. How much will the players be looking forward to that?
Yeah, as we mentioned, it's great from a run of games where they've been away from home. You know, all of that travelling, all of the tiredness that kind of causes and takes out your body, and to get back here out at home park will be fantastic for them.
Yeah, and I think as well, after particularly the last 2 games that they've played, it'll be nice for the fans to actually, in their even larger masses, be part of it too.
Yeah, and you know, having success across the season, it's vital for the team that they get, you know, a real good run of games going here and getting the right results that can keep them in and around that promotion push.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we'll have a little look at the team now, be coming up on your screen. And they are as follows. Your starting 11: Michael Cooper, James Bolton, Macaulay Gillespie, Jordan Houghton, James Wilson, Joe Edwards, Ryan Hardy, Danny Mayer, Connor Grant, Panucci Kamara and Luke Jeffcott. And then on the subs bench we have got Callum Burton, Ryan Broom, Niall Ennis, Jordan Garrick, Adam Randall, Ryan Law and Romany Critchlow. It's a really strong bench, isn't it?
Yeah, you can often kind of look at a team and a squad, and a good way to judge it is, you know, what kind of options does the team have coming off the bench. And certainly today, you know, any one of those players could go in and you'd be confident of them doing a really good job. So that competition for places is great, and it bodes well.
And 11 goals in the 3 away games that we've had. The strikers are playing really well at the moment too, aren't they?
They are. I mean, I think, you know, he's really spoilt for choice, the manager, in that respect at the moment. And obviously it was great to see you know, Ryan Hardy in the goals on Tuesday night, but equally you've got other players that are banging form at the moment as well, so it's fantastic.
I mean, we have to talk about Ryan Hardy a little bit, getting that hat-trick after what was a disappointing moment for him at Chelsea with the penalty, but he bounced straight back in the next game and obviously finds himself in the starting lineup today. He must be really looking forward to this game as well, I'd imagine. Yeah,
I mean, you could see how much it meant to him when he scored the first goal of his 3 on Tuesday, and I think that was really nice, you know. And back at Chelsea, after he missed the penalty, you know, even me sat at home in my living room, I could hear the Argyle fans, you know, immediately giving that support, and I think that would have been massive for him.
Yeah.
And to then, you know, go out on Tuesday night and to get the hat trick, you know, I've not seen. There can't be that many players that seem like they have more composure and they're more calm the closer they get to the goal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I was like that at all. You know, but he just seems to have so much composure when he comes up against the keeper, and that finishing ability was there for all to see on Tuesday.
Yeah, it seemed like his confidence just kind of continued to grow, and then that third goal where he just chipped it over the goalie into the back of the net.
Fantastic on his weaker foot, and you know he'll be absolutely brimming with confidence today.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you know they've got 4 strikers there that play in any combination, and at the moment all combinations seem to work. We've seen, you know, Hardy with Ennis and Jeffcott, and you know, what do you make of the options that Schumacher has in strikers? Yeah,
it's really interesting. I had a quick look at the Shrewsbury website and their preview of this game, and they were obviously highlighting Ryan Hardy as the one to watch. But you know, Luke Jeffcott scored a lot of goals this season. He's in good form. Niall Ennis in amongst the goals as well, and we've all seen what Jordan Garrick can offer as well. You know, he's scored and contributed on that front really well across the season as a whole. So, you know, spoilt for choice, but you know, from a Shrewsbury point of view, whoever they pick, they won't. You know, they're looking at that and they're going to be worried, I'm sure.
Yeah. Being a striker yourself, when you've got everybody in such good, consistent form, how do you kind of differentiate yourself to make sure that you know you're making sure you're part of the pack?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, and I think ultimately scoring goals is the one way of staying in the team. You know, scoring a hat-trick, you're not going to get dropped for that next game. But equally, you know, working hard and you know carrying out what the manager's asking, and I'm sure lots of the players, you know, all the strikers are really contributing well on that front at the moment, and it's just fantastic for the club and for the manager to have those different options. Yeah. You know, all of them will be itching to get on the pitch and make a contribution and get on the goals.
Yeah. And one of the noticeable changes as well is Dan Scarr is not in the starting lineup. I believe he's out with a bit of an injury worry at the moment. How will that affect how the defence is going to play today?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly won't expect a change in shape, but with James Bolton coming in, I guess the decision to be made is who goes into the middle where Dan Scarr normally plays. Yeah. So perhaps it's more likely to be James Wilson, but we'll wait and see how they set up on that. Ultimately, though, it doesn't change, as we said, the system. It doesn't change the shape. They'll all be very well drilled. They'll know their jobs, and I'm sure that whoever's in the middle there can you know be dominant physically against a Cheltenham team a Shrewsbury team that are going to really put pressure on us today.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a look at the table, we've got 50 points so far, and we only got 53 in total last season. So that surely points to success, we would hope.
Yeah, I mean, we had that amazing start to the season and the run of points recently, which has been a fantastic boost. I guess there was a point where it maybe looked like we were slightly slipping away from the pace at the top of the table. But if we can keep this run of form going, we're still well in with a shout for promotion this year, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if Argyle can win their games in hand, is it possible we might see them third?
Well, you've seen some strange results in recent periods. Sunderland having a bit of a faltering period. Shrewsbury getting a point at Wickham in the week. It's quite unpredictable, and it's down to a team to kind of put a run of results together. And hopefully, starting today here in Argyle with more home games coming up over the next month or so, we can be that team. Just
how tight would you say it is up at the top of the table?
We know it's really competitive. There's some big teams there with big budgets, bigger, potentially bigger than Argyle. So it's fantastic that we're in the position we are, and hopefully we can just make that next step and really be in with a shout come the end of the season.
Yeah, the players, I believe, over our shoulder, just coming onto the pitch now, met by a lot of applause from the fans here at Home Park. We'll just have a quick look at the other games in the division today and see what's happening around the league. So we have Accrington Stanley playing Crewe Alexandra, AFC Wimbledon versus Sunderland, Burton versus Cambridge, Cheltenham versus Fleetwood, Lincoln versus Wickham, MK Dons versus Ipswich, Morecambe versus Gillingham, Oxford against Bolton, Portsmouth v Doncaster, and finally Wigan v Charlton. So lots of matches happening around the league today, and we will keep you up to date with the scores as our match here at Home Park progresses. Now, I think everyone would agree seeing Danny Mayer back to his best form is a really great thing. In the last few games, he's been almost untouchable, and we knew he was a pretty flamboyant guy on the pitch, but we didn't know he was so acrobatic in his celebrations.
Danny, we've got to start with the roly-poly. It's been spotted everywhere. I think you've been sent it.
I have been sent it.
Talk me through the thought process.
Well, I want to know who captured it.
I've
been told it was you, so I'm a bit gutted about that. No, I think it was more relief. I think I'd just seen it roll in and I was close to the floor, and I don't know. I'm more gutted that it got spotted. I knew I did it, and I never told anyone because I thought I don't really want it to get in anywhere. I'm so glad I don't have social media.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry I brought it up, but it'll get played a couple of times.
I'm glad, that's brilliant. Cheers.
Yeah. You mentioned relief. Is that from that game then? Because obviously that second half, first 10 minutes of that second half against Crewe was absolutely scintillating.
Yeah, I think once a relief, as in they're a tough team, Crewe. Yeah, I know that they are where they are in the league, but you never know what they're going to do, the way they play. So they get the third goal. I thought it kind of clinched it. I thought we'd done it. I knew we had a long time to go, but I thought we could get more, and it was more relief. And that's why I ended up so close to the ground. And whatever happened.
We're not going to see any more of it.
No, I won't be searching.
Not if Charlie's around it.
No. Cheers, Charlie.
How much do you think it says about the squad, the side, the team, that you came away from a game like that against Crewe, that are tough, away from home, difficult pitch, just 3 days after going toe-to-toe with Chelsea and playing 120 minutes, to come through it the way you did? What do you think it says about the side at the moment?
It doesn't really surprise me. I think we've seen it from all season, We've got a grounded group. We know what we're aiming for. I don't think the gaffer would have let it happen either. He was buzzing with the performance on Saturday. Obviously, everyone was, but once it was finished, for him it was finished. It was business as usual, and we had to get ready for Tuesday. We freshened it up because they might have run in some of the lads. It was incredible on Saturday. So, it was all about getting back to winning ways and continuing. The good form that we're on.
Freshening it up, I think it was 5 changes before the game, and the performance-wise, you couldn't have told that there were 5 changes. That must be great to be playing in a team that you can rely on literally every player.
I literally think any player could come in and it wouldn't make us any weaker. I think, like I said it before, the strikers are, I've never seen anything like it. Either whoever plays, whatever 2 played, either score or assist. And I said, it's right through the team. Whoever comes in midfield, Ran, Brumi, Pan, me, whoever it is, Jord,
you know, we've just got such a good, strong group this season, and everyone's pulling in the right direction. That it doesn't matter who plays. We all just want to win. You know, we want to get to where we think we could get to, and hopefully have a special season. The gaffer's tactics and the staff's know-how of other teams and how we're going to beat them is some of the best I've ever worked with, and you know, it's no coincidence that we've carried on this good form after everything. You know, it's a credit to him, it's a credit to the team, and hopefully it keeps continuing and we get another 3 points on Saturday.
Danny Mayer showing off his roly-poly skills at last game. Just how good is Danny, Ian, when he's back on form?
Well, we've seen the influence he's had on the games recently, and he really gives something extra, I think, to that midfield area. Ultimately, Argyle need to make sure they get the ball to him, and you know, he's really hungry for that possession at the moment. But we've seen from his assists and you know, his influence, he's a real threat on the opposition goal. And again, he's another player for Argyle that Shrewsbury will not be looking forward to facing today.
From watching him play, it seems like he's not afraid to kind of get right in the thick of it and almost mess with some of the players on the other team, the way he manipulates the ball in the area. Yeah,
he's got fantastic dribbling ability, and you know, he's got almost a signature trick when he receives the ball with his back to a player, where he shifts it to one side and seems to go around the other side, and regardless of how predictable that might seem, it just seems to work. And you know, he's got that ability to kind of get that couple of extra yards in acceleration away from a player, and yeah, hopefully we can get, as we said, get the ball to him a lot today and let him influence that game.
It's almost like predictably unpredictable.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's got, you know, by saying that, it's not that he does the same thing all the time, but it's like that threat and the way he shifts the ball. He forces the defender off balance and is able to take advantage of that, and it's great to see.
How tough do you think he would be to play against from an opposition perspective?
I wouldn't like to, definitely. You know, I think it's the fact that he can dribble around a player in both directions. He's got a threat in terms of his finishing ability. He'll want to score more goals. There's no doubt about that. But you know, he has got a really good shot on him when he gets the opportunity as well. So you know, not only with the assists that he's been getting recently, but he'll definitely want to be getting on the score sheet as well. Yeah,
I mean, when he plays well, Argyle do tend to look a different side. I'm sure his presence back in the team more consistently has been noticed by everyone.
Yeah, it's that different. So we commented on how strong the bench is today. You know, Argyle have got a range of midfielders that can offer something different. So Adam Randall, who I think is unfortunate to miss out in the starting 11 today, offers something different. Jordan Houghton coming back in. We know Panucci Kamara gives that fantastic work rate up and down the pitch and a goal threat as well. So for Danny to offer that something extra, that real creative spark is something that lots of clubs would really love to have at this level.
You almost need like more substitutions just so we can get everyone on the pitch for, you know, a solid amount of time, because like you said, everyone seems to have a lot to offer. I think Adam Randall was doing really well with his like set pieces and free kicks a few weeks back that we saw. Shame to miss the penalty in the last game, but how do you rate him as well, because he's still really kind of up and coming, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the way that Adam's come in and taken responsibility first of all has been fantastic, but I'm also not surprised, you know, having worked with Adam and seen his progression through the academy. You know, he's the type of character that he's a perfectionist, so I've no doubt he'll have been practicing his penalties all, you know, later this week for the next opportunity that he might get. But the way he's gone in and played, you know, not only Jordan Houghton's role a couple of times, that holding role in midfield, but he's also offered an attacking threat when he's been in there for Panucci Kamara as well. So you know, it's great to see him in the team as a local lad first and foremost, but his performances as well have been, you know, really quality.
And despite the weather, I think we are going to be in for a nice afternoon, aren't we? Just to remind you all, in case you didn't know, but I'm sure you did, you are watching Argyle TV, and we are building up to Argyle against Shrewsbury Town. Coming up before kick-off, we are going to be having a little look at how the Argyle women's side have started 2022. welcome back to Argyle TV. Earlier on, I asked you to get in touch with us on @only1argyle, and we will be taking a look at some of your comments later on because, quite frankly, me and Ian have been having such a good time, I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. But there are a few shout-outs I would like to give to viewers that are hopefully watching Argyle TV around the world. I was very fortunate enough to go and see Argyle play Chelsea last weekend, and I bumped into a few people that I'd like to say hello to. So Nigel, who travelled all the way over from Guernsey, he told me that he watches Argyle TV on the regular. So Nigel, this is a little shout out for you. Lovely to meet you. I also spoke to Mike, lots of other people. There's a big group of guys. One of them was called David Whitfield as well, big Argyle fan, and lovely to know that people are watching Argyle TV and getting stuck into it. For those of you who are watching at home today, though, do get in touch. Some of the shout outs we tend to read if you've not been watching Argyle TV before. We do have Ricky the Argyle Raccoon, who often makes an appearance in, I believe, the Devonport end of the stadium. So I will be looking out for that tweet later on. But we do like to see where our furthest fans are watching from on Argyle TV. So get in touch over the course of the game, and I will be reading those out at half-time. For now, though, let's take a quick look at some of the news happening elsewhere around the club. Now, Argyle women's goalkeeper Poppy Soper has joined the Super League side Chelsea on a dual registration deal. The 19-year-old will train with the current champions of England, but she'll still be able to play for Argyle. And she's also just been selected by the Wales national side, which is absolutely fantastic news. Academy striker Freddie Isaka has also received an international call-up. He is being selected for the Wales under-17 training camp ahead of their UEFA Elite round fixtures with Slovenia, Serbia and Turkey. He will be with the squad from tomorrow and until Thursday. And sticking with the academy as well, Will Jenkins-Davies has been nominated for the LFE Goal of the Month award for his strike against Cheltenham. And you can vote for Will by visiting our website, pafc.co.uk. Make sure you give him lots of love. Right, this week has been EFL Youth Development Week, which is a time when clubs across the Football League celebrate their young players and coaches. Now, Argyle has had a tremendous success in the 9 years that the academy has been running, and you only have to look at the team at the moment to see how Cooper, Jeffcott, Randall and Law, all regulars in the first team now. And here to talk about that is Academy Manager Phil Stokes. Hello Phil, how are you doing?
Hi Aaron, yeah, all good, thank you.
Now, nice to meet you. We've not met before, so could you just give us a little bit of background of what you do over at the Academy?
Yeah, so my role is Academy Manager, I work under and really closely with Neil Dewsnip, Director of Football, and first team coach Kevin Nanscoville, to try and oversee everything, all things in Academy, from right the way from the younger ones right the way through to obviously them transition into the first team.
Yeah. Now, how pleased are you with the progress that has been made? I mean, like Jeffcott has reached 100 games this season. Mike's going to be making 95 appearances today. What does that say about them?
Yeah, really proud for everybody really that's worked in the academy across a number of years. People that have worked past and present.
Yeah.
But for them, they're really good young men. I think it's first and foremost. They represent the academy really well, and they're really, really good role models for the future for our young aspiring academy graduates to look up to see, the opportunity, the pathway that is there for our players.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it must be really nice, for people coming into the academy to see those that have kind of gone on before them actually living the dream, essentially. Yeah,
no, there's a lot of hard work that goes right the way through, and a lot of hours, a lot of commitment. But yeah, I think you can generally see now over the last kind of 2.5 years, the amount of appearances that we've had from academy graduates, the amount of international appearances, from academy graduates, that all of that work is coming to fruition. And as part of a football department, we are one club right the way from younger ones all the way up. Very much joined up, in our philosophy, the way that we approach things, the way that we develop people and players. So it's really good to see, and we're seeing that at the moment.
And how important is the academy to a side like Argyle in particular?
Yeah, massive. We want to produce our own players. There's nothing prouder, I think I said in the podcast, when the Green Army are singing one of your own. That is the best feeling ever, really. And when a player makes the debut, that makes everything from all the staff, all worthwhile. So I think, the great work that goes on is important to a club like us. We want to make sure every young player within Devon and Cornwall have the opportunity, if they're good enough, to come through at Argyle and to go on and make first team appearances for Argyle and maybe go on and play at the highest level internationally.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the ideal scenario for them, isn't it? And how are the younger players getting on at the moment?
Well, they play a lot of games, a lot of things that they do across the week. But I have to say that, right the way through, the younger ones, we're doing really well. It's not all about results at the younger ones, but in the main, they put on some really, really good performances. They compete in festivals. They won in futsal festivals. They compete against Category 1 academies. So we have got some really good players, across our teams and age groups that are doing well at the moment.
And what kind of age groups are we looking at the academy, and what might a typical day look like for a particular remit?
Yeah, so the younger ones below 16 are all part-time training models, so obviously they have a full day at school.
Yeah.
How many lessons they'll have there, 8 lessons, and then they come to us 3 evenings a week.
Wow, okay.
And again, that can be players coming all the way from Penzance, nearly 2 hours away, coming up and training and going back again. So like I said, the commitment there from parents is phenomenal. And then obviously as you transition older into the 18s, that's a full-time training model, where the players are in with Darren and the under-18 staff on a day-to-day basis. Yeah,
so a lot of dedication goes into it, and for anyone that is interested, they still have to do the schooling. You can't get away with just playing football.
100%. We're really hot on that in terms of making sure the academic progress of players doesn't suffer as a result of being in the academy. The travel distance, the commitment, and if it does, then when we speak with the parents, the schools, we liaise with everybody to make sure that, that's not suffered as a result of anything.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned the under-18s there. They played earlier today, is that right? And are they near the top of their league?
Yeah, so they're currently 2-2 at half-time.
Oh, okay, so it's still happening.
So it's still happening at the moment. I've been checking the Twitter feed.
So as soon as you get off this, you'll be straight back on the Twitter feed.
Back to it. But yeah, they're doing really well, certainly the last couple of games, and they give themselves every opportunity. They've got Bournemouth next week, which is, another tough game. They're top of the league at the moment. So a really exciting finish, and we want to finish as high up the table, and if not, try and win it if we can.
So tell me a little bit about today's game then, considering it's still ongoing. 2-2 drawing at the moment. Who are they playing?
So they're playing Portsmouth at Coach Road at the moment. We were 2-0 up.
Oh, okay.
But they've drawn it back. But again, I'm sure there's another good 45 minutes in us to continue the good work that they've done all season.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that as well at Argyle TV, update at the half-time of this match. And just finally, Phil, what are the targets for the academy going forward?
Well, we have 2 main targets, and that's 1 full debut a season, which, if I believe rightly, we're up to 5 or possibly 6 full debuts this year, which is quite incredible. And then we're expected, or we hope to get 4 players on the team sheet. Academy graduates out the 18. I know we've got 4 in there today. I religiously check on that every week. And we're up to an average of kind of 5.5 this year, which again is a great stat. And if you look back at last weekend, to have 4 academy lads that feature against the European champions, makes us really proud again at the moment.
Yeah, I know that must have been a particularly special moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think for all of the staff watching, they all went to see my new round to Lawsey do so well and compete, amongst obviously a great team performance, but those 4 in particular, for those that have worked and spent so much time towards their development is great. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Phil, for joining us. Appreciate your time. You watching the game here this afternoon?
Yes, I certainly will.
Well, enjoy that, and good luck for the under-18s game as well. We'll keep up to date with that and let you know the score. You are watching Argyle TV, and we are 25 minutes away from kickoff here at Home Park. Thanks very much again to Phil for joining us on Argyle TV. Let's focus in on Shrewsbury Town now. They come into the game having drawn their last 4, and they are 18th in the table, with their last outing gaining a very impressive point away to Wycombe. They are playing in red, I believe, in the next clip, and here are their best bits. Not a win for them, which is good for us, but any draw at Wycombe is an impressive one this season, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, Wycombe coming back from their time up in the Championship, you know, with an improved team and certainly at their home ground, they've been a really tough prospect this season. So despite, I think, conceding quite a few shots and maybe not having too much of a threat on the Wycombe goal themselves, to come away with a point's a really good result.
Yeah. Now, I see here they haven't won in 6 league games, but they have drawn 5 of those. What does that mean in terms of the game we might see today?
I think it tells you that they're a solid team, and Steve Cottrell's a vastly experienced manager, so he knows how to set a team up, and I think he'll obviously have had a really good look at how Argyle play. You know, it's not a secret, the system that they employ and that they've played across this season, so they'll be well prepared for today. So it's going to be a tough one for Argyle to break down, but we've seen that they've got the firepower hopefully to do that. Yeah,
I mean, looking at the results and seeing that string of draws in not a string of wins, having said that, they have only conceded 4 goals in their last 10 games, which is pretty good going, isn't it?
Yeah, it does show you they've got that team spirit, that togetherness, and that organisational setup that is probably what's got them those results. You know, to, as we said, go to Wycombe. Wycombe don't often have a lot of possession, but they ended up having, I think, over 60% of the possession in that game, which is not Wycombe style.
Yeah.
So obviously they went there and soaked up a lot of pressure. You know, they might be hoping to do the same today, but obviously Argyle need to make sure that they put them on the back foot and are nice and creative in their attacking play.
Yeah, how exactly do Argyle break them down? Because it seems as though they're quite capable of at least holding their own. So how do we kind of break through and make them concede more than 4 goals in 10 games?
Yeah. I think we talked about Danny Mayer already today, and clearly he's going to be a key player. So getting the ball to him in some dangerous areas will be really helpful. But if they're focused on dealing with Danny Mayer, the hope is that there'll be spaces that open up, and we know that Argyle have got a threat on goal from right across the pitch. Joe Edwards, Connor Grant, even at wing backs, popping up with goals here and there. So that's something for Shrewsbury to have to deal with, and by getting the ball, I think, to Danny Mayer in those dangerous areas, that's going to be the kind of first key for Argyle tonight. Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a little look at their team for this afternoon. We'll just read out these players for you. In goal, we have Morosi. Then their captain, Ebanks Landell, Matthew Pennington, Tyrese Forner, Josh Vella, Daniel Udo, Ryan Bowman, David Davis, Elliot Bennett, Joshua Daniels and George Nurse. Quite defensively strong by the looks of it, Ian. Yeah, I mean, as we said, it's natural that they're coming away from home to Argyle, who are a positive attacking team, that they're going to look to set up and try and be solid. And as we've mentioned, if Argyle can get on the front foot from the start of the game and perhaps nick an early goal, that could open the game up and really be in our favour.
Do you think them seeing us against Chelsea and, of course, seeing the 4-1 win that we had the other day will have perhaps influenced how they are going to play against us?
Perhaps. I mean, I think, as we've already said, Argyle have got a very consistent formation. They've got a very consistent style of play that kind of, regardless of the players that are in the team, they'll have that pattern of play, that way of playing that has been so productive for them this season. So, there aren't any big secrets.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury will know how Argyle will want to go about the game today, and they'll obviously set up in that way that will try and stop us. But hopefully, as we said, we can be on the front foot and have a positive result. Yeah,
it'd be nice to get another early goal like we saw the other day for sure. Now, one of the names in the Shrewsbury squad is former Argyle midfielder Tyrese Forner. Will that be interesting for him coming back to Home Park?
Yeah, I'm sure it's always interesting to go back to clubs that you've played for, and I think Argyle, with the coaching staff, and their kind of scouting operation, they will know plenty about Forner from his time here.
Yeah.
And I think that can maybe go in Argyle's favour, in that they know what to expect a little bit more, perhaps. But I'm sure he'll be looking to come back here and put on a good show in front of the fans that used to cheer him on. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And where do you see their goals coming from, if at all? Ideally not at all, but if they have
Ideally not at all, yeah. So I think they've got their two main strikers, so Daniel Udo and Ryan Bowman, who have come back into the team today, having been rested and only been substitutes at Wycombe. Between them, they've got 20 goals. So clearly they might be the key danger men for them today.
Yeah.
Argyle will be fully aware of that, and obviously, hopefully, stopping the supply into them in terms of chances will mean that they're limited and can't impact on today's game.
Yeah. Now, am I right in saying Argyle have already played Shrewsbury so far this season, and it was a win, wasn't it? I
think so.
Yeah. So, having that in our favour, do you think that will influence the game as well?
I think that those results can be in players' minds, but ultimately it's more probably about the run into the game in terms of those most recent fixtures that you've had. So, as we mentioned, that really positive run that Argyle have been on, with a brilliant performance at Chelsea and that trip to Crewe, despite Crewe's perhaps lowly position in the table, any away game and any game in this division, has the potential to be a bit of a banana skin. And after perhaps a bit of a slow start, Argyle came right back into it and obviously scoring all those goals, which we hope they can take into today's game.
Absolutely. I mean, how good would that be to see? I mean, dare we hope for another hat-trick, but I mean, can you imagine the kind of atmosphere that would be had at Home Park if we had a similar result to the last game?
Yeah, it would be fantastic, and it's I think all the more important to build that momentum. I think we mentioned it towards the top of today's show, that when we've got that big crowd coming in to watch and that expectation, it's a different type of pressure. It's a good pressure that you want as a player to come and perform in front of a big crowd and hopefully get that right result.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Ian. You're going to be commentating with Rob McNichol over on the other side of the stadium. Dare I press you for a prediction before you head off?
Oh, I haven't thought about this at all. Let's go 3-0.
I like it. Very good. Ian Stonebridge joining us once again on Argyle TV. Thank you very much, Ian. Enjoy the rest of the game and hopefully see you sooner than 3 weeks to the next one. Just before we hand you over to Rob and Ian for commentary of the game, we are delighted to remind you once again that we have teamed up with online food order and delivery service Uber Eats for our 21-22 campaign. They are joining our club as an affiliate partner, and Uber Eats sponsor our all-new pre-match quiz on the official Argyle app. So make sure you download that if you haven't already. And they also do our brand new Moment of the Month feature on the club's social media channels and, of course, here on Argyle TV. So to kick off that partnership with fans, you can download the app and receive £10 off your first order if you spend a minimum of £15. All you have to do is use the code Argyle10 when ordering. I'm going to practice my terms and conditions voice for the next time we read that out and just see how fast I can do it. Right, we're almost ready to go. So a reminder that if you are watching abroad and you have bought the match pass, then you can watch the game right here on Argyle TV. Or on the website. So if you're watching on YouTube, head over to pafc.co.uk. And for those of you in the UK, audio commentary with Rob McNichol and Ian Stonebridge will also be over there on pafc.co.uk. I make it 2:45, which means kickoff is in 15 minutes. It is Argyle against Shrewsbury Town, and it's coming up next.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to